Let's jump back into actual project work now, and let's start to look at, well, what happens when those hours actually are reported over what you've budgeted, and that's what's called a project overrun. So what causes project overruns? So here's what the Architect's Handbook of Professional Practice labels as a few of the most common reasons for project overruns. The first cause listed is unrealistic fees. That's where you either had inaccurate historical data or you had an overly ambitious project proposal for the fees for that project type. Additionally, scope creep. So essentially, this is when the people who are in charge of those milestone checks are not really checking the growth of the project scope against what was originally agreed. And of course, poor project management in general. And unrealistic fees, scope creep, and a number of other things actually all relate to poor project management. It could be personnel management, it could be miscommunication, or just overall mistakes in the QA/QC process. So these are common causes of project overruns, basically whenever things have to be fixed in the end, or if the project just started off on the wrong foot. So here are some overrun response options. Of course, you sometimes have the ability to charge for additional services. That's if it's applicable. That's not always going to be the case. If it's perhaps your own mistake, you can't charge additional services for your own mistakes. You may have the chance to basically put in overtime. This will in many cases stress your workforce, and it's not generally a good business practice to utilize overtime as a regular fix. Similarly, when it comes to alternatives for completion, you do sometimes have the ability to redistribute that work within your own internal workforce, either per the skill available or potentially even use part-timers or independent contractors in order to make sure that a project at least can be done. This may not be the most profitable way of doing it, but at least you know the project will get done and it won't hurt your firm's wallet. And lastly, of course, you could take the loss. If additional services aren't allowable, if you don't have the manpower to do overtime, or if none of the alternatives that you could possibly do are available to you, sometimes you just need to do the work as best you can to the point where it gets done. And that's unfortunate, but it is a reality.